We off that. We off that, but you can't bring the future back. We off that. Rips, we off that. It's there. We off that. It's still on that. Still on that. Oh. Gonna make it public. Hold on. To the future. What's up, folks? Welcome. I'm just gonna wait till some more people join. Okay, let's make it around 25. Okay. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to listen to some Jay-Z. I can't listen to it while I'm. I can't let you listen to it because otherwise they will not let me publish this live stream. All right, because copyright and shit, right? But yeah. Let's see. We got 19 people. I'm going to start when we get like around 30. But you can't bring the future back. AKA Morning Star. What's up? Shakur Joseph. Evening, Frank. I hope you're well. I'm doing very well, thank you. Doing very well. Just took a nap. You know, this is how fucked up my sleeping schedule is, right? I take a nap, and I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I can't continue sleeping. So, what am I supposed to do? Do a fucking live stream, right? Why not deliver some value while I can, right? So, let's do that. Yeah, and I'm sure you saw the topic of today's live stream, right? Are there occult laws to money? All right, and well, you can post any question that you have in regards to that topic. I'm going to lecture a little bit about that stuff to give you context. All right, that's always helpful. But see, when you give me questions, I always know how to, how to frame it all. If that makes sense. Okay, I want to know what your questions are. You see what I mean? Because when I know what your questions are, I can use the understanding that I have and I can break it down. You see what I mean? Remember what I told you in many live streams about the pyramid structure of knowledge, all right? So when it comes to knowledge about any topic, really all that you need to know are the top 20%, the top of the pyramid. Okay, and with those top 20%, you can permeate, all the rest, and the same applies to the topic of money, the topic of many other things. To a large extent, you can say my job really is just to share those top 20% with you, and that alone is going to give you, mastery over a subject. Okay, let me try to explain. See, knowledge is hierarchical, right? When you focus and completely immerse yourself in a specific topic, what happens is you automatically extract those 20% about a topic, you see. And as you do that, as you have this insight, like fuck, wow, now I fucking get it. As you get that, that's a certain state of consciousness. When you extract the real high quality information out of a subject, that's connected to a certain state of consciousness, you see. So mastery over a subject, the understanding of a subject, is really a certain state of consciousness. All right. So what you want is, you actually don't want the knowledge, you don't want the mastery. What you want is you're looking for a certain state of awareness, a certain state of feeling in regards to a certain topic. Okay. So by me sharing those top 20%, it gets you there very, very quickly. This is what I'm actually doing. Okay. How do you keep an expansive energy in regards to money to keep it flowing? Okay, good question. Glad to hear. And you're more than welcome. And thank you in advance for the knowledge. You're welcome. Okay, awesome. Okay, I need more questions and more questions. I just want to know where you're at. Oh, by the way, I'm looking forward to the boot camp tomorrow. All of you who are going to be on there on Saturday and Sunday. You can't sign up for it anymore. It's actually closed. But those of you who did, it's a good decision. All right. How do you keep an expansive energy in regards to money to keep it flowing? All right. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. I'm going to start with that. Well, it is true that you need an expansive energy in regards to, well, you need an expansive energy in regards to money in order to keep it flowing, but that's not the only thing, okay? That's not the only thing. There's actually much more to it, okay? If you want to attract something, you have to become a container for it, okay? Whatever you want in this world, if whatever you want to attract, you have to magnetize it, okay? What is the energy of money, or the underlying, quality behind that thing that we call money, which is not a thing, by the way, it's just a process. Well, let's look at a barter economy. That's what they call it. A barter economy is essentially an economy where people trade actual goods and services. Okay, it's essentially, you got a farmer that raises chicken, and on the other side you got a farmer that raises cows or something like that. Okay, now the guy with the cow, what he has to exchange is milk, right? It would be stupid for him to kill the cow and to get something short term, but he would kill basically a supply of milk that he can exchange many times, right? And he doesn't only want to drink milk, he wants eggs now. Okay, so the guy with the milk and the cow goes to the guy with the chicken, and he asks him for eggs. Okay, and usually he would exchange some milk for the eggs, right? But what if that guy with the eggs doesn't want milk? Okay, what is he going to do? Well, he can't cut off parts of the cow and exchange them with the guy for some eggs, right? Because that would kill his cow. Okay, so what then was invented in order to deal with this condition is money. Okay, because money is a universal adapter. It allows people to exchange value. Okay, and it allows different things to be traded that usually wouldn't match, if that makes sense. Okay, so the guy that has the cow now can use money to buy anything. He can buy things from people even though they don't even, maybe they don't want milk at all. They don't like milk, you see? So he can buy things with that money that he couldn't get if he would actually trade the physical stuff that he has. Okay, so money is an adapter. Not only that, what money is an abstraction, right? And it's a voucher. It's something you can exchange because the other person believes that they can use that money to exchange it for something else. All right. If they didn't believe that they could use the money that you give them today for something else tomorrow, they wouldn't accept it. You see? So what underlies money as an energy is trust and the belief that it is useful, that it's going to be useful tomorrow. You see? So if you want to attract that energy, you have to be trustworthy. If you're not trustworthy, that energy cannot come to you, you know. Understand yourself not as a physical person, you're a sphere of energy. And the energy that you attract, or rather what you want to attract has to be matched by you. Does that make sense? So if you're not trustworthy, you will not be able to hold on to money. You're not going to be able to attract that stuff. Okay. So be an expansive energy includes that. Okay. So you gotta match the energy of money, which is trust. All right. Now I know a lot of people will tell me, well, there are people that rip off others and they're rich. No, they're not rich. They're not rich. Usually these people, if you observe what happens to them, more often than not, they suffer for it. Okay, the money will never serve them in a good way. They will get destroyed by it. They will get locked up, and many other things that happen to them. Okay, so it is not advised to steal things from money. I mean, to steal things from people, or um, what's the word, to rip them off in any way. Okay. Plus, be trustworthy. What does it mean, be trustworthy? It means that you have to, when you say something, you have to keep your word. Okay, it's more about energy than anything else. It's not even about other people. It's what is the energy that you represent. Remember, you have to be a container of the energy that you want to attract. Okay, so money is trust. Okay, money comes to trust. Are you trustworthy? Do you keep your word? Can people trust you? Are you a reliable source of whatever? You know, if not, you're not going to be able to hold on to money or to get money. Okay, period. Another thing is you have to know. I mean, what is expansion really? Okay, what is expansive energy? You call it expansive energy. I call it, let's say, freedom. Freedom, because money is freedom too. It represents freedom, right? Um, money is the ability to do something. Okay, the ability to affect things in the outside world to a large extent. Okay, freedom. Okay, one way to define something or anything is really to look at its opposite. Okay, if you want to, you can only understand something in regards to its contrast, to its opposite, light dark, you know, hot cold, you know. I mean, that's actually quite interesting. I mean, let's talk about perception first. Okay, um, if you um, if you were to put your hands into ice cold water, both of them, okay, put your hands into ice cold water. All right. No. Let me say it different. I'd say you put your hands into lukewarm water. Okay. Both of your hands go into lukewarm water. All right. And then you take your left hand and put it into, let's say, cold water, very cold water, and the other hand goes into very hot water. Okay. What would you experience? What would you experience? Well, depending on where your hands were before, you experience the different environments differently, even though it's the same body. Okay. Or let me put it like this. Sorry, that was the wrong example. Okay, so one of your hands goes into very hot water, the other hand goes into very cold water. Okay, hot water, cold water. Okay, now you got a different framework. Okay, and then you take both of the hands and put them into lukewarm water. Okay, the hand that was in the hot water is going to experience that water as very cold, right? The hand that's going to experience that was in the cold water is going to experience the same water as very, very hot and warm. All right. Does that make sense? So everything that we experience is dependent on our reference points. Okay. What is the subconscious reference that we use to look at things? All right. This is very important. We could say that we're all on top of this iceberg. Okay, we're aware of 1%, but 99% of what we perceive is not really in our conscious awareness. Okay, see, we experience the same situation very differently. Everybody does. Everybody has a completely unique perspective on any situation that they're in. Okay, and what we got there, what creates the difference is our different experiences, our reference points. Okay, our uh, beliefs, our, and I want to say beliefs, our subconscious beliefs, our expectations. All of these things create a different framework. Okay, a different set of beliefs. All right. That's number one. So a way to create an expansive energy, like you just asked here, is first of all to align the beliefs, align your subconscious with what it is that you want. Number two, in order to define something, you have to look at its opposite. That's the only way you can really define something. Because, I mean, without a context, nothing makes sense. Okay, something that exists in a vacuum without any reference cannot be defined, right? You can only define something by looking at its opposite. So when we look at money as a form of freedom, let's define the opposite of freedom. Yeah, let's say somebody's who's locked up, who's in prison or something like that. What is that? There is limitations, right? There's a lack of choice. There are walls that they can't cross. Okay. In the same way, when you don't have an energy that attracts money, you have those limitations in your mind somewhere. Okay, where are they? What are the limitations? Not just in your mind, but in life in general. How do you overcome those limitations? Well, one of the things that you need to look at are one of the things that you need to be aware of is uh, the tendency to spend more than you have, and everybody has that. Okay, what you will experience is that no matter how much you make, you will always spend more than you make. That's, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why. It's just something that is real, and it's something that everybody experiences. No matter how much you make, you will always spend more than you make. So if you're not aware of that, that's something that's going to mess with you. Okay, you will not be able to build up assets. And this is, by the way, what we should do. You should take your money and buy assets with it so that you can create passive income. All right, and that creates freedom for you. That's what we're looking for, right? So if you're not aware of that, I think that's the Parkinson law. I think that's the third law, the third Parkinson law. Okay, yeah, I mean there are actually scientific laws when it comes to money, right? Because money is a form. It's a form of energy. To an extent, it follows the laws of energy, but also physical laws. Okay, so the third Parkinson laws, essentially, it states that the person will always spend more than they make, and the same applies to work as well. Okay, with time, the workload will expand. Okay, so it's actually wrong to think that working more is the answer. It's not going to work. That's not the solution. Yeah, because the more you work, the more work will show up for you. Okay, so you're never going to um, end this activity. But I digress. Okay, so another obstacle. What is another obstacle on your way to accomplish financial freedom? Taxes. You know, taxes. But taxes is a very complicated topic because I mean your position, your identity really determines how much taxes you pay. And when I say identity, understand that the tax code has been written for entrepreneurs and investors. It has been written for them and by them. Right. So your identity as your economic identity, or yeah, that determines your tax bracket and how much taxes you have to pay. Okay. So being an employee, you're basically in a really bad position when it comes to taxes. And when I say employee, I would include self-employed people, lawyers, doctors, and all of these people are teachers. They're all in a really bad position when it comes to the tax code. Okay. Yeah. So understanding taxes is very important. Understanding how you combine taxes uh, with investments is very important. Okay, that's the holy grail. If you're able to use taxes to build assets for yourself, okay, that's the holy grail. Okay, how would you do that? Well, there are certain what's the word? Let me give you an example. In Germany, there's this rule that um, let's say you have a business, you're required to how do I explain that? You're required to make savings for in case you fuck, how do I how do I call that? In case you mess up, they're going to find you, right? And you're required to take part of your income and put that into a separate account so that you're ready in case they find you for that. Okay, so you're required to do that. Well, you could just make that deposit every month, or you could actually use that money and use it as collateral. Okay, use that as collateral, and let's say you go to the bank and tell them, I got, let's say, I don't know, 100 grand. I want you to finance a house that's worth 1 million. Okay, but instead of giving them 100K, you tell them, listen, guys, this money is put away anyways because I need to save it for in case the government wants it. So let's do this. I give you that as a deposit. Okay, you finance 1.1 million instead of 1 million. For you, it doesn't make a difference because you still got that collateral of 100K. All right. So you give me 1.1 million. I buy the house, and the tenants pay it off. And after those 100,000 are paid, you give me that deposit back, and it's mine again. Right. So you could do that. All right. So that money is not yours anyways. It's basically what you would pay in taxes, right? It's not yours, but you use that as collateral for the bank to finance an investment. Okay, because usually you need something like 5 to 10% of your own money as a down payment to make a real estate investment. Okay, So you can use what's not yours, what would be taxes, to finance an investment. You see, and after, I don't know how long that takes, maybe 2-3 years, you can use that same deposit again to finance an investment. Okay, so that's a very simple way of using what you would have to pay in taxes in order to finance investments. Does it make sense? I mean, there are many more things that you could do, right? But the point is this: you have to understand taxes. You have to understand how they stop you from building up anything. Okay. What did we say here? We said taxes is an obstacle. We said that not knowing that you're going to spend more if you make more is an obstacle. What is another obstacle? Another obstacle. Inflation. Inflation is a big obstacle. Okay. Let's say you do all of the things that I just said. All right. You make investments, and you save money, and you don't spend everything that you have. But then there's inflation, and inflation is going to eat your money up if you don't know how to deal with it. Well, what are great ways to overcome inflation, or to not be affected by inflation? Well, real estate is a great way to do that. I don't like real estate though. Okay, I like businesses, right? I mean, there are many ways to overcome inflation. Bitcoin, man, if like, damn it, I don't like Bitcoin. Bitcoin, just mark my word. 3 years, Bitcoin's gonna be gone forever. Okay, gonna be gone. Everybody's talking about fucking Bitcoin. Glad to hear. Do we have any more questions? Hello from Kentucky. Hey Frank, I was reading the Master Key System today and it blew my mind. I had to stop reading to process it. Thank you for the recommendation. Do you think someone should study first real estate or the stock market? It's not either or. It's really up to you. What are your objectives? Okay. There's not one answer for everybody. It really depends on who you are. What is your risk profile? When it comes to investing, the most important consideration you have to make is what is your risk profile. If you have a family and you're at a certain age, let's say you're 50 years old, 60 years old, and or I don't know, let's say you're 45, you have a family, you have kids to take care of, and I don't know, maybe a steady job or something like that. You have a different risk profile than somebody who's 20 years old and has just started their own business. Okay, so it really depends on your risk profile. That's the first consideration that you have to make. All right, your risk profile or your willingness to take a risk also determines what investments you should make, but also what the reward could be potentially. All right, what's the reward potentially? As a general rule, the younger you are, the younger you are, and the less responsibilities you have, the more risk you can take. Okay, and the more risk usually means the less solid the investment. All right. So what do I mean by that? Real estate can be a very low risk investment if you know what you're doing. Okay. So the older, the better, or the more you should go into real estate, in my opinion. Okay. The younger you are, I mean, being young, you can definitely make a lot of moves in paper. If that makes sense. Okay. So I mean, there are so many things that I could say here about this, but hold on. Yes, but this month I'm going into school for my real estate license. But I'm a bit nervous about it. Yes, I'm 26, no kids. Well, that's like I said, it's up to you. I don't know what your goals are. Do you just want to have a couple of thousand every month as a passive income, or do you actually want to get rich, or what is your goal? What is your objective? Always that's really what you have to look at. What is my goal? What do I want to accomplish? What most people will sell you is this. They will tell you that the best way to become financially free is to have access income, to take that income and to invest in real estate. And the real estate should be cash flow positive, right? So it pays itself off, and then once it's paid off, it will give you it will pay you a nice paycheck every single day. Well, I mean every single month in the future. I don't like that. Well, I like real estate if it's big, okay? But single family unit. Look, I mean, most people will get a house, one house or two houses or something like that, and then think they're investors. It's ridiculous. Okay, first of all, it's not passive income. It's not passive income. If you have real estate, there's always going to be something that happens. Okay, something's going to go wrong. Something's going to be broken. You're going to have to deal with it. It's not passive. Number two, what's the bottom line? $600 a month, something like that for a single house. Come on, how much profit is really there? Number two, people always talk about real estate as if it's the Holy Grail. When if you look at demographics in the future, all of these fucking houses, who's going to rent them? Who is going to rent those houses? So that if you get real estate in a rural area, if it's not in a major city, you will not be able to invest in that profitably. It's basically worth nothing at that point. Okay, you don't want to get a house that is outside of a major metropolitan area. Okay, it should be a major city. Plus, it should be many units, because that's the only way where you can break even. Okay, so real estate, in my opinion, oftentimes is a scam too. Okay, unless you got the funds. Okay. Look, I'm a stock market person. That's because I've been doing that for a long time. That's how I started, and that's what I started studying at, I don't know, very early on, 16 years old. I was going to the library and then getting books on the stock market. So I like that type of money, that type of asset class. Okay, stocks. Why? Because it's extremely liquid, it's extremely fast, and um, I'm not that big on security. Not, I mean, right now I'm still not there. Maybe in 10 years I'm going to think differently about that topic, but for now, security is not that big of a deal for me. It's more about the reward. Now, when it comes to stocks, once again, you have to understand your risk profile. How much are you willing to lose? That's the first question you ask yourself. How much am I willing to lose? Say you have an account of, let's say, I don't know, 100,000. In this trade, I'm willing to lose 10%. All right, and you don't go beyond that. So you buy stocks that are worth 10,000, or not, rather, you buy a certain amount of stocks. Okay, let's say they're at 100 each. Okay, how much is that? You buy 1,000 shares. So you're willing to lose 100,000. That means you could wait all the way until they go to zero, and you would still not what's the word, not break your rule. Does that make sense? So in any investment, you only stay in there until you You only stay in the investment as long as you don't go past your risk profile, if that makes sense. Okay, but you got to decide that in advance. Okay. Also, another big thing is that, look, you're working with what you got there. Okay, when it comes to stocks, the big what's the word? The big benefit when it comes to real estate is that you can use leverage. You can use other people's money. You can use that when it comes to trading as well, but when it comes to trading with leverage is something where you need a lot of experience for. Okay, but when it comes to real estate, leverage can be, it's relatively low risk to use other people's money for that. So that's a big advantage, of course. There's this quote from a Wall Street guy, and I think it was a journalist who asked him on his advice on how to build a big fortune very fast, and his answer was, "Well, you just got to use. You got to start with a big fortune." Okay, so yeah, that's the principle that they use in Wall Street, So you just start with a lot of money, and then it's easy to make more money. Leverage, all right. Let me look at the questions here. Hi, Frank. Thank you. Needed to hear this. Yeah. I would like to own property and build buildings and rent out to people and also sell homes. You'd like to own property and build buildings and rent out to people and also sell homes. Okay. So you want to be a developer? Okay. It's good to know early. And with stocks, just pick some and follow them. Learn trends with the market and news cycle. Track it for a while and do it on paper only, so you don't risk anything and thus don't lose until you are comfortable with the game and knowing how to respond to it. Millionaires don't base their decisions on stars and astrology, but billionaires and trillionaires do. Is it good to know early? And with stocks, just pick some and follow them. Learn trends with the market and news cycle. Yeah, the problem with the news cycle is that it's focused on the past, you see. But when it comes to the stock market deals with the future always, you see. So when we look at stock trading, people always trade the future, trading expectations. Okay. So what is assumed is going to happen. What is already known is already in the price. So I would like to own property and build buildings and rent out to people and also sell homes as a side hustle. Well, I would assume that thing requires, if you really want to do it seriously, it requires a little bit more than, look, just like everything else, your investment of time and attention is going to bring you a reward. You cannot compete at a high level if you're doing it as a side hustle, in my opinion. So if you do something, I would do it right. Don't do 1,000 things, but do one thing and do it right. That's the only way you can compete at a high level. Do you think the stock market's going to crash this year? What does that mean? The stock market's going to crash. What does that mean? Stock market crash. Well, I don't think so. I think they're going to continue printing money. You know, I mean, what does that mean? The stock market crashing. It means that, I mean, what are we talking about here? 20%, 30% overall? You know, I believe the Fed is going to continue printing money. Hard to say. I mean, look, I mean, this year the stock market should have gone down a lot, right? But it really didn't that much because a lot of money printing was going on. You know, they buffer that with currency. So, in my opinion, it's not good to look at the market overall. Everybody is talking about the stock market. There is no the stock market. Of course, there. Look, you have to think in terms of industries. Think in terms of market segments. That's much better. Okay, because one segment of the market will be profitable, while another one is not. Okay. So my recommendation would be: look, you can only compete at a high level where you are an expert. Okay. So you have to know a lot about a specific area, and then you're going to be able to compete. You can't be a jack of all trades. So my recommendation would be that you find out what you're good at, and then specialize in that, and really understand that. And then you can also you can make decisions, right? Throw away your newspapers, throw away your Financial Times or whatever they're called. Don't look at those things. MSNBC, that's all propaganda. That's complete bullshit. You know, they're selling you something. So what you have to do is you have to actually educate yourself on a specific area, and you can't know everything about all of it. Okay, so the only way to compete is to pick your strength and to go deep with it. I think they call that deep domain expertise or something. That's the best way to do it. Okay, but we were talking about the general rules of money. Okay, and what's hidden behind that, because the stock market is a very very narrow look at all this stuff. Do you think the stock market will grow? Do you think the future money will be into tech industry? Do you think the future of money will be into tech industry? Question doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. Well, hold on. Are there any broad recommendations you would make for people to profit from this year's coming events? Broad recommendations. You know, it is what it's been like. If you got capital, you will benefit from it. If not, if you don't have capital, it's a capitalist system. The more you have, the more will come to you. That's what it is. So if you haven't built up anything, what you should focus on is not taking advantage of opportunities in the stock market, which would make sense to you if you have a couple million to put up. If you don't have capital, build up capital first. Okay, don't think about the big stuff if the small stuff isn't covered yet. That's what I would say. Of course, you have to educate yourself about it, start thinking about it. But the first thing that you need to do is build up a cash base. All right. So let's say you don't have any money. What would you do? What would I do if I didn't have any money? Well, first thing that you need to do is you got to build a cash base. So you look at a high risk business first. Okay. A high risk business that could get you some money straight away. Okay. Very fast. Okay, I don't know, flipping a house or something like that. And then what you do is you take that money and invest it in a more solid business that is low risk but gives you a cash base. Okay, a cash flow that keeps you afloat, pays your bills, and then covers for the most basic stuff. All right, and then What you do is you look at a speculative business again, a speculative business that allows you to go bigger and bigger and bigger. That makes sense, okay? And this is really the way you can 10x your money every year. Well, 10xing is maybe a little bit overstating it. Okay, 5xing it, it's also pretty good. Okay, but that's how you do it. You go from nothing and you use a high risk venture to build a cash base, and you use that cash and invest it in something that is low risk and gives you a stream of cash. Because look, it's really hard to build something up if you're not able to think. Okay, that's one of the most, I mean, one of the most important things. You need to have peace of mind in order to actually plan out something, to think long term and whatnot. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is be reactive in this game. You cannot be reactive. You have to be able to sit down and actually project into the future and plan your steps ahead. That's how you're gonna get the most return. Okay. Most people are reactive, you see, and that's why they're not in control. Anything we need to do or prepare for the upcoming classes? What classes do you mean? I think so. Do you think precious metals are undervalued? I think so. Look at the US debt clock value versus the real value. Physical is the only way to go. Do you think precious metals are undervalued? Undervalued? What really, I mean, what does that mean? What does that really mean, undervalued? If they're undervalued, it's intentionally so, you know? So do I think it's smart to get a lot of precious metals? Yeah, it would be. Absolutely. Absolutely, but not over 5 to 10%, you know? And look, it's always, people always talk about these things as if it's the Holy Grail. Nothing is the Holy Grail. Nothing is the Holy Grail. It's not precious metals. It's not this and that. Yeah, precious metals is going to help you preserve some of your money. But look, the people that think that they can just buy a lot of gold and sit on it and expect it to make them super rich, they're going to be a little bit disappointed. It's a it's a hedge, nothing more. It's not a way to get rich. It won't be. Okay. Why? Look, we got the hierarchy of laws. Okay, top 20% at the top of the pyramid, and then we got 80% at the bottom. All right. So one of the main properties of money is that it needs to be exchanged. Okay, and it needs to actually provide value. All right. So if you want to make money, if you want to make money, you got to provide value. You got to exchange value with the world. Gold is a store of value. Okay. So it's not going to make you rich. It's a hedge. Also, it doesn't have a yield. It doesn't have yield. What does it mean? You hold gold, it's not going to throw off cash flow. All right. Not going to happen. Now, it's true that if you look at the let's say you had gotten some gold in 1970 or so, you know, or 1930. Sorry, let's say you had bought some gold in 1930, and you have waited up until today. Adjusted for inflation, you would have made 8%. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 8% is it's decent. But Other investment have made much, much more. Okay. So precious metals, in my opinion, is good for a hedge. Hedging your money, 5 to 10% of your portfolio, not more, because it doesn't have a yield. You see. Unless you have, I don't know how much you can put into it. If you have, I don't know, if you want to put a couple million into it, yeah, maybe buy some gold for a couple million. But understand that the government is going to look at what you're doing 100%. What you can do is you can get a lot of silver. I like silver too. But where were we? Damn, what were we talking about? We were talking about the occult laws that govern money. All right. I was talking about the obstacles that you might find along the way. Okay. We were talking about trustworthiness. We were talking about you will spend more than you have, 100%. So how do you overcome those obstacles, by the way? Well, you have to know that you will spend more than that. And I'll tell you how crazy it gets. Even if you keep that money in your account, at the end of the month or so, you're gonna get a bill that's gonna force you to spend that money. So how do you avoid that? How do you hold on to money, knowing that it will be taken away from you? Well, look, money, or rather currency, comes from current. Okay, and current means it needs to move. Okay, you can't hold on to money because it is energy that needs to flow. So how do you use that principle to your benefit? Well, as soon as you can, as soon as you get money, you have to put it into a cycle where it can work for you. Okay, and that needs to be planned ahead, of course. Okay. So how? You have to have some investments lined up automatically. Okay, you have to pay yourself first. I think that's what they call it. So as soon as money comes in, you don't even look at your bills, none of that. You take 10%, 20% of it and put it into a separate account where it works on your behalf. Okay, buy some dividend stocks. Okay, by the way, everybody talks about real estate in the context of cash flow. Why not get some dividend stocks? Okay, or REITs, real estate investment trusts. I really don't understand why people are so hung up on fucking real properties that you can touch. Right? Why? Why do you need that? Get some real estate, like, REITs, real estate investment trusts. They can make you 8%. Okay. Well, 8%, an 8% return on investment is very good for a cash flow property. Okay. But with a REIT, which is basically just a stock in commercial real estate companies, you don't have any work. You basically just put up your money and you get the REITs, and they have to share 90% of the profits with their investors. That's mandatory. You see, so you don't have to worry about them, withholding the profits and reinvesting that in their company and whatnot. So you're going to get the profits. You're going to get the dividends. Right? Get some blue chip stocks. Why not? Even if you're speculating, some Amazon or some other stuff. Why not? I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, Amazon, Facebook, and all this other stuff. You can't go wrong with those. So look, what I don't understand is why people make it so complicated. Like, people talk about these cryptos and all of this other stuff that really only experts understand. Okay. So Why not get some Facebook stock or Amazon or all of these other things? You see? All right. How are Jewish people so wealthy versus other people? Is it because of nepotism and owning of property? I heard from a family member that we had Jewish relatives that own property, that how they made their money and give it to my grandmother as a gift. How do Jewish people? I don't know. I really don't know. See, look, your culture is not important. None of that's important. If you follow the laws of money, it will come to you. So, if that is the case, what you're saying here, if that's true, it means that they're following the rules of money better. That's it. See, look, like I said, money is an energy. Okay, so um, it follows spiritual laws, occult laws, but also laws of physical energy. All right, it works very similar to electromagnetism. It's a form of energy. You just have to understand the laws that govern that energy, and then you get attracted. You see, for instance, when people talk about making money, the first thing that comes to their mind is, how do I get something? How do I get it? Wrong energy. Wrong energy. That repels money. What you have to think is, because money represents value. Money is something that represents the exchange of value. You see what I mean? So what you have to think at first is, how do I give value to the outside world? How do I provide value to other people? And when you do that, money is going to be the result. You shouldn't even think about, how do I make money? What you should constantly think about is, how do I provide value to the world? All right. That should be your thought. Okay. And then also, what you're saying here, historically speaking, um, in the Middle Ages, the Jews were strongly discriminated against group in Europe. Okay. Really bad, really bad. People talk about, what's the word? Discrimination. The Jews were really, really, really badly discriminated against in the Middle Ages in Europe. Now, the prevalent religion here was Christianity, right? The Jews held on to their culture, and Christians were not allowed to give loans, if that makes sense. Well, they were allowed to give loans, but they were not allowed to collect interest. Okay, the Jewish religion would not prevent that, so that's why. And Jews were also prevented to go into other trades. So the only opportunity they had was to go into the money lending business. That's why a lot of people call that stuff shylocking. It's basically lending out money for a high interest. Okay. So what I'm saying is, that might be the historical reason or background of why a lot of Jews are very wealthy. It's a generational thing. I think about it. If that's the only way that is left to you to survive, you get good at it, right? And then you teach your family, and generationally you get better at it. Um, that's a deep subject, but they create these programs like a hack. They create Legion, yeah, whatever. Okay. because they sued every country after World War II. Got to check. Please, guys, don't go there. Don't go there. Okay, we don't want this anti-Semitism here. Okay. Money is exchange of your soul. Your soul is the currency, right? Exactly, my friend. And because of that comment, I can guess your bank account. I can guess your bank balance. You know, you're probably, come on. People with weird comments from now on, I'm gonna remove them right away. Okay. I don't have patience for this bullshit anymore. Hello. So would a good practice be paying for everything to get into the vibration more of money versus accepting free things? No. But of child sacrifice and sacrifice. Oh my God. Guys, please stick to the fucking topic and don't get weird, okay? The fuck's wrong with you? One more comment like that and you're gone. Okay, we're talking sane stuff here. Okay? You guys are talking as if you're insane. Anyways, no, you don't have to pay for everything. You know what's going to happen? The more money you have, the less you're going to have to pay for things. You should give value. Money is not a real thing. Okay, money is not a real thing. Money is something that represents real value. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to ignore money and deal with the world in terms of real value. What is real value? Well, good question. What is value? What is value? Well, value is, first of all, something that somebody perceives as valuable, right? Well, there are a couple of things that play a role in that stuff, okay? One of them is urgency. How urgent is the desire that somebody has for something? What do people value? Well, people value something that removes the pain or gives them pleasure. By the way, removing pain is perceived twice as valuable versus providing pleasure, all right? So all that you need to do in order to attract money is this. Listen to people's problems, learn to look through their eyes, and then find ways to remove the pain, okay? So basically boosting your talents and skills to give to the world. Well, that could also be a trap, because is your talent desired? You see what I mean? Is there a market for what you're providing? You see what I mean? So you can't just look. It's like providing a product or something like that. How do you create a product? Most people, when they create a product, they just look at what they got in their head, and then they create the product and then just throw it on the market. That's wrong. You have to find the market first, and then you have to create the product that suits that market. What is a market? What is a niche? Well, you just look at what people have a problem with. Find out people's pain. Find out what people are struggling with. What are people's pain points? Right now, I can tell you that one of the pain points is, it's always one of those three things. People want, look, remember, our psychology is very simple. Deep down, below all of the sophisticated stuff, there are just two desires, okay? It's procreation and survival. Procreation and survival. It's essentially sex, okay? Sex and security, okay? That's also why people are attracted to money, because they want security. And it gives them the ability to do things better, more of that stuff. Okay, so more money allows people to access to better resources, less stress, less fear, okay, which is moving away from pain, and usually gives you better access or more access to sex, you could say. Okay, that's for sure. Now, if you can provide if you can provide people those benefits, there will be a market and they will be willing to exchange for you. Okay, they will be able to exchange for that solution. It's very simple. Okay, so people always want sex and people want survival. That's it. It's that simple. And if you can sell that, then you got a business. Okay. Okay, so let me give you an example. What is your talent? Dragon subs. What talent do you have? What talent do you have? What are you good at? By the way, if you really have to think now, that's the first obstacle that you have. You should be able to answer that really quickly. All right, look, example. I had a writing. Well, it's okay. I'm writing. Let me give you an example. I have a personal trainer, right? And he was talking about creating a product of sorts. Okay. And he asked me if I had an idea on how he could do that. Well, the first thing that well, I asked him if he had a specific group that he was targeting, and he said he wanted to do it for. He wanted to help women lose weight, right? Wanted to help women lose weight. No. Well, then I told him the best way to market that would be to get very, very specific. It's not just another weight loss program. What he would sell is basically something very concrete, like how to what's the word? How to reduce your not shoe size, the size of your dress within 10 days or within 90 days. And to basically, yeah, make it very, very concrete. So I told him that he should sell it in a way where he makes them look at a dress, okay, and to sell them that they can fit into that new dress within 90 days. But not only that, it's not just about the dress, because what they're really looking for is the reward of being able to fit into that dress. And deep down in their subconscious, here's the reward. They're going to be more attractive. And being more attractive, they're going to attract a higher value guy. And that higher value guy is going to have certain qualities, okay? It's good. It's going to be a successful, I don't know, maybe a rich, maybe a handsome, whatever the fuck they want, right? A high value guy. Ideally, everything. Rich, successful, handsome, and tall, and stuff like that, right? That's the type of guy that they're looking for. And losing the weight is going to get them that guy. It's not about the dress, okay? It's about what they are going to get when they're more attractive, right? So I told him that he should sell it like that. It's not about the weight loss. When people talk about weight loss, yeah, health, great, and all that, but that's like 20 years in the future. That's not how the mind thinks. Okay, they need to see the reward right away. Okay, and the reward will be that guy. So I told him that he should sell a weight loss program for women with the reward of getting that guy. So you got to make it very, very clear to people. Okay. So you got to emphasize the pain point, where they're at, the ideal, which is, you know, the thin woman with that attractive man that was attracted by her new beauty, right? And then what you sell is the connection between the two, the solution, how to get from point A to point B, right? And whatever you do, whatever you want to sell, try to frame it like that. I hope I'm making sense here. Okay. I hope I'm making sense. Why am I selling a Casanova course? Why am I doing that? Why am I not selling a channeling course or a course where I channel messages from I don't know, Mahatma Gandhi. Why am I selling a course with information from Casanova? Well, because Casanova knows how to get pussy, all right? And that's one of the biggest pain points, but also one of the biggest desires for men. Okay. So when you can teach men how to get pussy, now you got some. Now you got a cash cow. You see what I mean? Because men love sex. Well, women love sex too. But the approach or the strategy for men is different. Men want a lot of different partners, and women want one very special guy. It's not that they're monogamous. I'm not saying that women are 100% monogamous, because they can cheat too. But the tendency, generally speaking, is they're going after one, the highest value guy that they can get. And by the way, when women cheat, they're already out of love. With men, it's different. Men can definitely have sex with another woman and still feel love for their partner. But if a woman cheats, it's basically over already. Okay. Really good advice. Yeah, that's sweet, Frank, the way you explained it. Okay. Or developing a solution for a problem. Yes, Frank, I agree. Like with music, it can take pain away and give pleasure. How would you go about making money as a music artist? Thank you for your wisdom. Well, I believe that music is mainly a marketing tool these days. Okay, forget about this artist stuff. Like, I'm an artist. It's, yeah, you are an artist. Jesus, this part of my beard is just, I don't know what's going on here. Anyways. I would look at the business side of things more than I would look at the artist side of things. Okay. Well, yeah, you're an artist, but I think music has become a marketing tool. Okay. I mean, there's a reason why all these songs are about. I mean, listen to all these rappers. What do they sing about? And let's forget about rap. I mean, look at the music from the fucking Middle Ages or before. Music is always about love, right? Isn't it? Love. Well, love is code for fucking. Okay. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been about. All right. So all the things, it goes back to what we were talking about. It's survival and procreation. Everything, survival and procreation. And sex will sell always, forever. As long as we are fucking, sex sells. Okay, that's our species. So I would make my music all about that. I will make my image all about that. All right. All this R&B shit. It's just a softer way of telling somebody I want to fuck you. You know. So it's not just about fucking, it's about making sweet love, right? Well, it does not disprove my point. Whatever. Yeah. Really? Then that's not real love. Whatever. Designers. Okay, designers. Let's talk about clothes. What, I mean, even if they're selling, I don't know. Let's say one of the songs is about a Gucci bag or something like that. What is a Gucci bag? A Gucci bag is a status symbol. All right, and you will look different at a person versus like you look different at a person depending on what they wear. Uh, you know, it says something about the individual. All right. Say somebody drives a Ford, you would look at that person different versus them driving a Porsche or a Bugatti or whatever. Isn't that true? Is that the case? So even what I'm wearing here, like a blazer, okay, a blazer versus just the t-shirt, I look different. Okay, it gives me a different. It's a different message that I'm sending out, right? What is this about? Well, let's say the woman wears a Gucci bag. Other women will notice 100%. Men, not so much. Okay, a lot of men can't tell bags apart from each other. Okay, but other women in the room will notice, and what that is essentially a marketing tool. A marketing tool. You're presenting yourself in a certain way, and you're making connections because other people will want to hang with you because success attracts attention and friends. Okay, so you have more opportunities. But what does that come down to? Hey, what is the reason that pretty women almost have to fight off people, if that makes sense? You know what I mean? Pretty girls. Notice how pretty girls are always surrounded by less attractive friends. Why is that? Well, these less attractive friends subconsciously expect higher value guys to be around that pretty girl. Oh, she's going to attract some high value guys to me. So if I just stay around her and protect her and be her good friend, I might find one of those high value guys too. Okay. And that's the truth. So what's this? Frank, sometimes I don't want sex. I just cuddle. Okay. Well, whatever. I finally caught you live. Yep. You certainly look very sexy tonight. That's the first thought I noticed about your attire tonight. Okay. Well, thank you. Magnetism, energy, empires. But this is not about me. I'm talking about generally what this whole thing is about. Okay. Besides that, I don't even think I'm that good looking. It's not that. It's a combination of other things. But it's not about me. It's about yes, I knew a woman so beautiful, every man knew who she was, but however, she attracted a lot of other pretty women. Yeah, of course. Of course. Besides that, as a guy, good looks don't work in your favor. Hey, man, if I was a pretty girl, I would use the shit out of that. Look, I'm creating a modeling agency right now. I already got 5 clients. All right, one of them is very high value. I mean, maybe I'm going to reveal that in time, but not yet. But see, here's the thing, man. As when it comes to networking, when it comes to making connections, it's all about a give and take, right? What can I do for you? What can you do for me? So when I network, of course, I want to network with people that are at a higher level than me. Okay, so let's say people that are richer than me, people that have more money than me. I want to connect with them. Well, how do I do that? Well, I got to provide some value. But somebody that's worth, let's say, $1 billion is not going to care about my measly, a couple millions, whatever my net worth is. All right. So I got to provide some immaterial assets, some other way, you see? And there's nothing that men desire more than the presence of beautiful women. All right. So if I'm the guy that can provide that, that's a very powerful position to be in, you see? So a couple of weeks back, I thought about, how can I, because I'm gonna level up. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna position the Grail of the Serpent as a luxury brand, which already kind of like, what's the word? It's not going to be necessarily for the masses. It's more going to be like Yeah, like a luxury brand. It's going to be very exclusive. And what I'm saying is, in order to network at that level, you need something that you can provide that most people cannot provide. Okay, so I thought, how can I do that? And that's why I started entertaining that idea of a modeling agency. And my mind is very strong, so when I start thinking about something, it begins to materialize very quickly. And now I got a modeling agency. It's called Goddess Modeling. Goddess Modeling. You know, and it's going to be very, very beautiful women that are going to allow me access to the highest circles out there. Very good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, and yeah, that makes sense. Sex sells. Absolutely. Hey, I want to take this opportunity and say to you that I admire you and your work. Although I work with archangels and Christian magic, you are awesome and sexy. Take care and have a great 2021. Nick Carlos, are you a guy? Please don't call me sexy. It's weird. Yes, okay, whatever. All right. Look, I don't understand why. Look, archangels and Christian magic. Look, I have no problem with that. But why do you think I have? Why do you think I'm opposed to that? Do you think I'm opposed to Christian magic or archangels? I don't give a shit. I use everything that works. You know. I got this message the other day where somebody was like, "Dark blessings." Oh, like, why would you send me dark blessings? There's nothing good that can come out of a negative thought. You know, is that like what people do these days? Um, I'm not a what's the word? I'm neither dark or light or any of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm just somebody that uses magic, occult knowledge, and forces to live his life. You know what I mean? And I'm here to share it with other people. That's what I do. I'm not on any team. You know, even though that's what people think. I'm not. You see, this is also why I was thinking, man, is this really the right approach? Because as soon as you mention something like magic or the occult, people assume that you're fucking crazy or something like that. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Will you provide wealthy men with model introduction services? Do you mean an escort service? No, not going to be an escort service. It is just, look, I mean, look, somebody told me a long time ago that the art of good business is being a good middleman. Okay, the art of good business is being a good middleman. So let's say somebody has a networking event or something like that, or a party, a big party with a lot of high rollers around. Okay, they want they will want to have ladies there, something to look at, something to entertain them. Okay, that's not sexist. It's not. All right. It's not that the women are just props. They're also getting money out of those guys. All right. Look, I mean, there's a different effect, when an attractive lady asks them, don't you want to spend more on some drinks, or don't you? What do you think about another drink here? What do you think about that? This and that. Men are going to spend more money. A woman will have a different effect versus guys or a waiter. You know. So bottom line is this: you can definitely double the revenue of one night if you have a lot of attractive women in the club. 100%, men are going to spend more. All right. Why do they put women a lot of women in, let's say, casinos. Why do they do that? Well, most people that gamble are men, and if the woman that is taking care of the fucking gambling is attractive, they're going to spend more. They will want to stay. I don't think you women understand your power that you have over men. I really don't. Do you women, guys, girls? Do you actually understand the amount of power that you have over men when you're attractive? When you're an attractive woman? I really don't think you understand. You know, out of most guys, you could get anything, literally anything. They will spend their last fucking daughter to keep you around. You see? So, um, pay attention to that and make use of that. Make use of that. You see? Man, if I was a woman with what I know, god damn it, man, I would be a billionaire by now. 100%. Um, what do wealthy people value the most? I don't think they value anything different than other people. It's just that they can't actually get what they value, you see. I'll tell you what, one of my clients is the wife of a billionaire. Okay. She's the wife of a billionaire. What do they value? What does she value? Well, spirituality, obviously. She's got all the money in the world. But I'm her, what's the word? And well, obviously, look, I have way less money than her husband, obviously, right? But she hit on me. She hit on me. Okay. Why? What do I have that she could desire? Well, it's spirituality. It's meaning in life. You know, it's transcendence. You know, like she's got all the money in the world, but the material cannot satisfy you. It's impossible. So she's looking for something more. You know, she's looking for a transcendent experience, meaning in life, a certain feeling. You see. Now you ask me, how is that connected to sex and survival and procreation? Well, we got to look at the pyramid, the Maslow's hierarchy, right? Maslow's pyramid of hierarchies. Well, she's transcended all of those, and then at the top, she's going to look for self-realization, right? And that's what I'm providing. All right. Getting to high circles with girls is very good, as you said, but if they know the powers you have in magic, I think they'll even be more interested. What do you think? Who's going to be more interested? The people? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but look, I mean, this is the old question, really, that I had from the very beginning from the very beginning when I started studying this stuff. Okay, you can imagine that I met a lot of people in witchcraft, a lot of older people, a lot of people that were more advanced than me, and as usual, you meet 90% bullshit and fakers, and you meet 10% people that actually know what they're talking about and that can make shit happen. Okay, so what always surprised me was that a lot of people in the occult, supposedly people that could use magic, call upon spirits, and control the world with witchcraft, couldn't pay their fucking rent. We're broke, or we're powerless. We're fucking jokes of town or something like that. Weirdos, fucking weirdos. Just like you find it today in the occult community. You know, a lot of those peoples are just jokes of town. They fucking sit in their mom's basement and philosophize about the world, but they can't get shit done. Okay, total losers, total losers. And then you get 10% of those people who can actually make it work, and they fucking kill it. Okay. By the way, you would be surprised how many people in show business, people that you know, high level people in show business, high level people in politics, high level people in all walks of life, high level people are into the occult. Okay, and that's what I think you should do. I mean, how can you have access to such powerful knowledge and still be a fucking loser? Right? So, um, so if I can do these things, why don't I? Why do I not have the manifestations? I believe that if you can use magic, you should have what everybody else has. I mean, I'm sorry, not what everybody else has, what everybody else desires. You see. So instead of being people's magician, I want to be the magician that has also the resources, if that makes sense. Okay, that has access to all the beautiful women, that has access to all the money, that has access to all of that stuff. You see. Besides that, I'm not really for. My understanding of spirituality is really there's no difference between the physical world and the spiritual worlds. Really, they're interconnected to me. So the abundance in the spiritual should be reflected in the physical, I believe. You see, I'm never going to be the guy that moves to India to meditate on a mountain. All right, that's not going to be me. Okay, does that mean women should withhold sex as long as they can and use their looks and charisma to get what they want from men? Well, you're going to be able to do that with guys that are not really good at what they do. Does it make sense? It's like this: women create rules for certain men and they break rules for other men. All right. So it depends on the guy. It really depends on the guy. And I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if with most guys you already do that, where you're using them. Okay, all of you ladies, you have at least some guy, maybe one or two guys that are trying to get with you, and you're just using them. You're just using them. You're not going to give them anything. You don't have any intention of giving them anything in terms of your sexuality, but you're using them, right? 100%. And then there's this one guy that is using you, right? There's this one guy that you would let him use you. Maybe he's not in your life because guys like that are very rare. But that guy, you would break your rules for that guy. You'd be like, oh, usually I only fuck on the third date, or usually I only fuck after a month. Those are rules for those other guys, okay? Those losers. But there's this one guy who doesn't give a shit. That one guy that is just so free. That one guy that is just so masculine, and so he doesn't give a shit unapologetically. And you will let that guy actually do things to you that you wouldn't let anybody else do. All right. To other guys, you will be like, no, I don't do that. I'm not that type of girl. And then there's this one guy, you meet him and you let him do it. You just let him do it. He just takes it, right? So, all right. That's fine. You don't have to admit it. But that's the truth, and that has nothing to do with money, by the way. I don't believe that you need money to get girls at all. You can be a total bum and get girls as long as you're alpha. Okay, as long as you understand psychology, you can get girls. There are things that women can't resist, and it's definitely not money. Okay, actually, most guys that have money are being used. Okay. money is an invitation for a lot of women to use you. All right, and there's a warning. Okay, do you think if you think that showing off money will get you women, that's the completely wrong approach, man. Because all that it does is it attracts women. And look, when you show that you have resources, and you do that in the wrong way, they put you into a certain category. Okay, you become a provider. And I promise you guys, all women are whores, but they're also good women, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is there's not one sacred woman, there's a complete whore. That doesn't exist. All women can be turned into sluts. They will be a slut for the right guy. Okay, just like guys want to fuck, women want to fuck too. Okay, and that's not a judgmental thing. I don't judge women for that. You shouldn't judge women for that. Okay, women want to have sex just as much as guys want to have sex. That's fine, but they want to have it with the right guy. So you got to be the guy that they break their rules for. Okay, you have to be the guy that they want to be the slut with. All right. So usually, if you show that you have money, they automatically put you into the category of the provider. So they got to play the good girl. You see what I mean? They got to act as if they're like so clean and no, I'd never do that. Oh my God, what? No, I never did that. Oh my God, never in my life. Don't believe that shit, guys. Don't believe that. Women will be a slut with the right guy. Okay, they will be 100%. So you should find out how you can be the guy that they want to be a slut with. You see? And money is actually counterproductive. If you think that women can get you, money is the way to get women, you got it all wrong. Money is a way to achieve freedom, to be free of all restrictions, meaning to do whatever the fuck you want. All right. Now here's what happens with most guys when they get into a relationship or something like that, they lose their freedom. Okay. They lose their freedom, which is kind of counterproductive, I think. Just kind of like the opposite of what you want, right? You worked all your life to become free, and then you finally achieved it, and then you get a woman that starts bossing you around and starts to mess with your freedom. So I believe that's wrong. What you should do is you should increase your freedom all the time, right? And I would never use money to get a woman. That's stupid. Because all she's going to do is she's going to create a story and she's going to pretend that she's a good girl when in reality she's not. It doesn't mean that she's evil or bad either. It just means that women are, depending on who they're talking to, they're different people. Period. Okay. There will be that guy that they're going to fuck the first night they meet him. And they're going to do things with that guy that they would not do with their fucking husband of 20 years. Trust me, I've been that guy for a very long time. I've been that guy many, many, many times. Do you know how many married women I've fucked? And I did things with them and to them that they would never, ever, ever tell anyone. Okay, it's a secret between me and them. You see. So, in my opinion, never try to use money to get a woman because she's all she's going to do is she's going to withhold sex from you, and pretend that she's somebody she's not. I thought this was about money. It's gone on a different track. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. What are your questions about money? Most women like beta yes men. All right. Okay. You are the one. Okay. Do men provide for whores? Do men provide for whores? Hmm. Do men provide for whores? I mean, unknowingly, probably, yeah. They think their women are angels or something, and yeah, they provide. Frank was sexy side man, whatever. Did the married women fall in love with you? They fall in love with me. Some of them, I'm sure, yeah. A lot of wealthy men have escorts as girlfriends. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Yeah, so that's I guess that's the downside of being rich. You're gonna attract a lot of those women. They're not gonna be even they're not even gonna be real with you. You know, the guys that have most women are probably not even rich. You know, they're just good at being men. I have never met Frank, and I'm in love with him. All right. Well, I'm an asshole though. I can be a real asshole. Just so you know, I really can be. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'm a little bit selfish. I am, and that's not even just. I'm not even trying to pretend here. It's the truth. When you're casting a love spell, how can you make sure that you are doing this love spell correctly and you'll get the result? Oh man, I've answered that question so many times. Please go through my other videos and check it out. Now, does giving away money attract more money to you or a free product? Yes, more giving away money attracts more money to you. You can only get what you give first. Understand that. Okay, please. So you got to exchange value in order to get money, but you can also giving to charity or giving to people, giving money away to people will attract new money in many ways. You understand that positive actions always will bring you positive results in many ways. All right. So when you give away money, you will attract money. Absolutely. Yep. It's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah. The wild orchid. Really, I like a bad boy. Are you flirting with me? Stupid question. Yes, you are. Well, why don't you upload a profile picture so I can I know I should respond to that. I should be sleeping. 4:30 AM here. Good night, Frank. Okay. Good night. Of course I've been flirting. Yes. But I mean, I don't know how to respond to that flirting attempt if I don't know what you look like. Could be, you know what I mean? I don't wanna get a whale wet. And I bet I could get you wet here in front of everybody. Do I get a kiss? I don't know. Yeah, upload a profile picture. Thanks. Where's your Porsche? My Porsche is going to be delivered in February. They always got, what's the word? They always provide a certain amount every month. Okay, so I ordered it in the beginning of December, and I'm going to get it in February. So yeah, it's a 911 Carrera. Do I get a kiss? No, you won't. I don't do that. What I can do is tie you up and spank you or something like that, maybe. But only if you upload your picture. And we'll see if I can do that. Uh, uh, good night. Okay. Do you own a mansion in Germany? No, I don't own a mansion. No. Why would I own a mansion? I think a mansion is, well, for me, it's not the right approach right now. Doesn't make sense. I have 2 apartments. That's what I have. Yeah, whatever turns you on. Oh, you just want to be used, don't you? Right? You just want to be used. You want me to use you for my own pleasure. Is that what you want me to do? Yeah. Well, okay, let's stop. Um, when you have money, how do you protect yourself? I don't understand that question. How do you protect yourself? Users? Now, when you have money, how protect yourself, users? What do you mean? I don't understand. I really don't understand the question. So money is irrelevant to women in terms of attracting, except for being the right man. Well, look, I don't think women are not really into money. Women are into what they associate with money, which is security and look. If you're self-made, it means that you understand something, and it's a reflection on who you are in the world. Meaning, are you able to provide value to the world? You see. Um, so I think it can be good, but you shouldn't use money as a means of attracting her. It's good if you can, if you have that, but you shouldn't use that to attract a woman because um, then you're gonna attract that energy that that you put out. Do you know what I mean? So if you use money to attract a woman, it essentially means that you're buying somebody. Okay, and when you're buying somebody, when you're buying her, you're going to attract that energy back. So that means that she's going to be after the money. You see what I mean? And what do women do when they're after money? They use you. Okay, they use the money that you have. They use you for their money, and that means that they're going to withhold sex. Because look, let's be honest. When it comes to the game of mating, when it comes to the whole mating game, the mating industry, it's all about courtship, isn't it? So the man has to work to get her, right? And what does it mean, get her? It means pussy, right? The man has to work a lot to get pussy because men are they desire sex so much, right? Out of that, you got a fucking diamond industry. You got all those flowers. You got all those fucking, clothing. Like so many industries are all based on that drive of men to get sex. You see what I mean? So understand what a woman can get out of a man if she withholds sex and she keeps it just outside of his reach. You know what I mean? She keeps it just outside of his reach, and he's going to keep working. He's going to keep working. He's going to keep working just to get that pussy. So if she gives it up too fast, she's actually stupid, right? Isn't that stupid? Because if she can get so much out of a guy with him just getting a whiff of her pussy, she doesn't even have to give it to him, but she's getting all of these things, all of these free things. You see what I mean? So I think women understand that intuitively. And if they got a rich guy coming after them or pursuing them, she'll be stupid if she just gave it away, right? And most women do the right thing intuitively. So if you use money to attract them, that's what they're going to suck out of you because that's your proposition, right? You basically told them, "Here's my money. You can take money from me if you give me pussy." Well, why would they give it up if they can keep you coming for more constantly? Well, the problem is that only works with very attractive women usually, obviously, right? So gold diggers are usually a perfect 10. Okay. I never seen an ugly gold digger. Never seen that. But I think all women have that tendency. So if you use money to attract women, it's your own fault. You're going to attract the wrong type of woman. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you can't have money. Of course you can have money. But you shouldn't use that in pickup or in game. Here's how it works for women. Women will use most guys that they have around, okay? Because it's in their nature to do that. And men will allow that to happen. And it's men's fault. It's not women's fault. I would do the same thing, but if you want to position yourself right, you got to be the different guy, the different type of guy, the guy that women will break their code for, they will break their rules for you. And that's the alpha, okay? But that's an art in itself. But if you can pull that off, women will give you their money. Women will give you their money to be with you, to be taken by you, to give you their pussy. All right. And there's a way to do that, it's a little bit of pimp psychology, pimps are very good at that. Pimps are very good at that. They don't force the women to do that. Mostly. Of course, some do, but often they don't. Very often they don't. They're just very good at understanding female psychology, Why do you prefer to live alone and not with your family? And do your family know? Do you know how old I am, my friend? I'm 36 years old. Are you asking me to live with my parents? I'm not going to live with my parents. That's weird, right? And family, I don't have kids. I don't have kids. So I don't know what you mean. Is the fact of them knowing you have a lot of money automatically makes her see you as a provider, or is it mostly the frame you put out? I think it's the frame you put out. It's the frame you put out. In India, we live with our family regardless of age, but just asking. Well, no offense. Just saying. Well, over here, we don't do that. Which, I don't know. Is it weird? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know if I wanna let my mom see what I do on a daily basis. Now, what do you need to attract love of your life? Gee. Man, I mean, all of these questions here. What do you need to do to attract the love of your life? Visualize, visualize, visualize. That's what I would do. And look, I mean, you always attract what you are. So the higher quality, the higher value you are, the higher value you're going to attract, So always work, always keep improving yourself, leveling up in many different ways, okay? And that's how you do it. Okay, back to that question. Is the fact of them knowing you have a lot of money automatically making her see you as a provider, or is it mostly the frame you put out? Well, like I said, I think it's the frame. Yeah, I believe it's the frame. So if you use that money to have fun for yourself, it just shows that you're basically capable of. It's basically the equivalent of hunting. Okay, making money is the equivalent of hunting, right? Because that's what we do. In ancient times, you were a man, so you were hunting fucking, I don't know, deer, okay? And you bring the meat home. In this day and age, you hunt for money and you bring money home. Okay, so you got to be able to hunt. If you don't have resources, it's actually a bad sign, And so you should have that, of course. But if you use that for your own pleasure, if you use it for yourself, that's good. But if you use that to try to convince her to like you, that's bad. She should like you regardless of you having money or not. Okay. In fact, you shouldn't give a shit. In the beginning, you shouldn't give a shit if she likes you or not. You should be yourself and you should explore. You should just find out who she is. Okay. Now, if you're successful in life, of course, that gives you a certain level of confidence, which is good. But never try to use money to make her like you. That's weak. That's really bad, and you shouldn't have to use that. Because if you need that, it means that you don't have anything else going on for you. I promise you, man. Some of the best guys with women are broke as fuck. They don't have any money. Okay, but they fuck like crazy. You know. So. So are the men? So are there? What? Why is this message retracted? Okay. Whenever I visualize something better about myself, there is something in my mind that just doesn't agree with what I want. Well, just keep visualizing, okay? Just keep visualizing. Keep affirming. Eventually, the world around you has to comply to your desire. What are the occult laws on money? So are there men who are monogamous, or do majority of them cheat unless the woman is very high value? What do you mean by cheat? If a man has sex with other women, I don't consider that cheating. I consider that living in accordance with my nature. Okay. I have a lot of sperm. Okay, you have very few eggs. And that sperm wants to spread. That's what it is. Okay. I am programmed to desire more than one woman. I am programmed to want to have sex with more than one woman. Doesn't even mean that I like these women. Okay. I know that's hard to believe for you, for the ladies, but I can have sex with a woman without even liking her. Okay. I can think a woman is hot even if her personality is shit. Yep. That's how shallow I am. Because I'm a man. It's the truth. For you, for women, generally speaking, it's like, do I like him? And then I can feel sexual attraction for him. For us, it's not that important. I can feel sexually attracted without even liking her. Okay. She's stupid. She's an airhead. She's fucking. I can still want to fuck her. You know. Men that have sex outside of their relationship. Well, I think every man wants to. Every man wants to, and those that say no, I think they're lying. Because in their mind, they're thinking about fucking other women. When they're jerking off, even when they're having sex with that girl, they're probably thinking about another girl. That's how we are. We always think about having more and more and more. And well, that's the truth. How do you put yourself in a vibration of money and wealth if you are backed in a corner in a financial situation? It's about your emotions. Use your thoughts to influence your emotions, because that's what attracts things. So think in a way that is abundant. How? Use an affirmation and think it to yourself all the fucking time. I'm wealthy and I live in abundance. I'm wealthy and I live in abundance. I'm wealthy and I live in abundance. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And your emotions are going to start matching that. All right. What are the occult laws on money? All right. What did I not mention yet? What laws on money? Cold laws on money. We talked about taxes. We talked about inflation. Look, I think what you need to understand is also that you might think that this high level tax stuff, how to deal with taxes. Oh, I don't need that yet, or acquisitions or all of this other stuff. I don't need to understand that stuff because I'm not there yet. Well, you need a financial strategy to get rich. You don't need a financial strategy when you are rich. You need that in order to get there. You see what I mean? So understand taxes. How do taxes work? Who wrote the taxes? What do you need to understand about taxes is this. Taxes are designed in a way where consumption is taxed at a higher rate than investments. Okay, so how is it possible that Amazon does not pay any taxes? A company like Amazon, a company like Apple, they hardly pay any taxes. Okay, or Donald Trump, there was this big thing where it came out that he was only paying very, very little in income tax, right? And a normal employee would pay more. Why is that? Well, how does that work? Well, investments are taxed at a lower rate because the government knows that every invested dollar comes back fivefold. Okay, so if you're a company, you can write off a lot of things as investments. Okay, so you take money, you have income, and you use your income in order to buy real estate, to buy stocks, to buy all kinds of different things. Okay, and you get a tax break on that stuff. So you're building wealth for yourself. All right, and at the same time, you don't have to pay taxes. So your taxes are turned into investments. But if you're an employee, you can't do that. As an employee, they assume that you're going to consume all of your income. And that's why they tax it at a very, very high rate, you see. So the richer you get, the less you pay in taxes. If you do it right, you pay 0% taxes. Okay? There are a couple of things you can do with let's say, real estate and other things. Because, I mean, the government gives you incentives, if that makes sense. Okay, they want you to put your money into certain assets and not into others. So if you know that, and you can avoid most of your taxes, and taxes is the biggest, that's your biggest expense. It's your biggest fucking expense wherever you go, no matter where you are on this planet. Even if you live in, I don't know, Singapore or in definitely in Germany. Oh, God. In the US as well. I mean, if you live in California, you're fucked anyways, right? I'm just kidding. No. But what I'm saying is that you might think that these things are not important to you, but they are. They're part of the game, you see. So it's never too early to learn about these things and to study them. Okay. So learn about taxes, understand inflation, understand the game of this whole thing. It's a game. And see it as a game more than anything. Don't take it serious. It's a game. The more you see it as a game, the better you're going to be at it. Also understand that in order to make money, you can't be focused on money. Because whatever game you're playing, in order to be good at that game, you have to be bigger than the game, you see? So when your eyes are on the money, your state of consciousness is not going to allow you to attract it. So what you have to do is you have to follow a purpose. What would you use if you had an infinite amount of money? If you had an infinite amount of money, what would you use that money for? That's the question you need to answer. And you know what's going to happen when you start following that purpose? Money is going to come to you from all kinds of different situations, you know. I heard some wealthy men file for bankruptcy to hide money. Is that true? Well, I don't know if that's called hiding money, but it's. I mean, there's Chapter 4 and there's Chapter 11 in America, for instance. Okay, and if you file for Chapter 4, you're actually bankrupt. If you file for Chapter 11, you're just restructuring your assets, and by restructuring your assets, you could you can get out of some debt, you can get out of some obligations, and many other things. So it's not about hiding money. It's basically about restructuring your assets. Because I mean, if you look at the game of once again, let's talk about taxes, for instance. Okay, taxes. The game of taxes is about identity and what role you take on. Okay, so like I said before, if you have the role or the identity of an employee, you're taxed different than when you have the identity of an investor. Okay, so you can classify income differently, and based on that, you're not going to pay taxes or you're going to pay taxes. Does that make sense? So it's really about classifying your income, classifying your assets, or reclassifying your assets, and based on that, you can get out of a lot of obligations to pay money. Let's say somebody sues you, you file for Chapter 11, your assets are restructured and they don't get anything. You know, I think 50 Cent did something like that. I think 50 Cent, he got sued because he put out a sex tape of an ex-girlfriend of one of his enemies, right? And she then sued him for, I don't know, a couple million. And what he did is he filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11. He restructured his assets. He's still just as rich as before, but people can't get his assets. People can't get his money now because he restructured his assets. You see, so I don't know if that's called hiding money. I wouldn't call that hiding. Yes, he filed so the women wouldn't get the money. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't call it hiding money. I would call that, you know, a smart reallocation of your assets or whatever. Yeah, everybody does that. Everybody does that. Like I said, everybody hated Trump on that, or hated on Trump for that. But everybody does that. Every rich person does that. But you can only do that if you look. One of the laws, one of the principles when it comes to taxes is also that the same entity has to be treated the same. Okay. So if you are an employee, you have to be treated like every other employee. But if you have the same legal structure as Apple, the same legal structure as Amazon, you got to be treated like them, and they don't pay any taxes. You see? So you can be in the same situation if you do it the right way. Yeah. You just need the right corporate structure. You need the right advisors and other things, you know. But you can definitely do that. Your true purpose will always lead to abundance. Then, yes, it will, definitely. So, okay. I'm going to be here for, let's say, 5 more minutes, but let me make a recap here because we went into a lot of different things. All right, but the first thing that you need to understand is money is not a real thing. Money is a symbol for value that has been exchanged. So the first thing that you need to do in order to attract money is exchange value with the world. The more you exchange, the more money will come back. Money also represents the energy of trust, because what gives money its power is people believing, trusting in it, that it can be exchanged for other goods and services. Okay, so you have to be trustworthy in order to attract money. Okay, you have to work on your subconscious beliefs. You have to use visualization and other tools to get yourself into abundance. All right, you have to build up immaterial assets on a constant basis. Build up immaterial assets that you can exchange with other people, and they will exchange that with you for money. Okay. What are immaterial assets? Immaterial assets are things like contacts, skills, knowledge, a certain set of experiences that you had that are unique, that is valuable to other people. Also, understand how to market, understand how to provide value. How do you do that? Understand that people's subconscious is always concerned with procreation and survival. Okay? And what motivates people is pain and pleasure, meaning moving away from pain and moving towards pleasure. Okay? So if you can use your knowledge or your immaterial assets to help people move away from pain and move towards pleasure, which in this case would be moving away from pain is a lack of security, a lack of sex, a lack of opportunities. And you can help them move towards sex, move towards, security, towards opportunities, away from fear. If you can provide that, if you can use your immaterial assets to help them get that stuff, that's when you get something that is very, very desirable, and you will be able to easily exchange that for money. Okay. Then also what you need to understand is how to multiply the money. You got to understand certain asset classes. Okay. What asset class, it's up to you. But understand one, you can make money, you can make profit in any asset class. Okay, always. There's not a bad time in the stock market. It doesn't exist. You can make money when the market goes up, when the market goes down. Specifically when it comes to the stock market, understand short selling. There you got the biggest opportunities. Okay, how to short sell a stock. Okay, if there's any ability when it comes to stock trading that's going to make you the most money, it's that. How to short sell. Okay, some people say it's unethical. I don't believe that. I believe it's very ethical. Okay, when it comes to money, you also have to understand that you got to be honest in how you deal with people. Otherwise, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, for sure. Okay. You don't need money to make money. That's also something that you need to understand. You have to have immaterial assets that you can exchange. Okay, we covered that already. Immaterial means something that you can't touch, that you can't necessarily put a price on, but you can exchange it. Also, networking. You need to network with people. Always try to leave people better than they were before. Can you manifest money if you have debt? Yeah, absolutely. Or will it block it energy was? No, it's not going to block it energy was. Also, you should create a money magnet. Money comes to money. Remember that. Money comes to money. So you should take part of your income and always put it away into a separate account and never, ever, ever touch it. That's going to be like a magnet that's going to attract more money. Okay. And understand taxes. Understand taxes and inflation and multiple income streams and, shit like that. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you got something out of this. And okay, I'm gonna give you one last chance. I know it's already up, The boot camp is already gonna happen. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't sign up for it anymore, but because you're on the live stream, I'm gonna give you one more chance. For anybody who wants to, you can sign up for tomorrow's boot camp. The link has been posted here. So that's your last chance, very last chance. Otherwise, it's done. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for all the advice you saved us, both in dating and money. Well, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, guys. Should I wrap it up now? I'm going to take one more question. One more question, then I'm gone. But it should be a good question. Do we have any more questions? The biggest thing others value you learn about money that changed your finances. Okay, thus showing gratitude to money increase it. Gratitude in general. Yeah. Because that's the look, you're magnetizing things always with your emotions. So when you feel gratitude, you're attracting more. So gratitude is always good, yes. But not to money in specifically, gratitude in general. The biggest thing others value you learn about money that changed your finances. Well, it's that everything goes back to procreation and survival. That's it. How do you make something valuable to a person? Well, value is always subjective, right? But there's a common denominator. Which if something helps people survive or procreate, they will see it as valuable. Okay. Why do, I don't know. Why is a boss blazer more valuable than a no-name blazer? Why is that? Well, because people associate that with higher status. Okay, you signal higher status. Higher status means better access to resources of any kind, including opportunities to mate. All right, that's what makes it valuable. If you want to create a luxury brand, you got to associate that object that you sell, which is not necessarily intrinsically better than the no name, but you gotta associate it with those things. You gotta associate it with better opportunities for mating and better access to resources. As you do that, you've created a luxury brand. Does that make sense? I mean, that's what's behind all of it. What we consider valuable is that, you see. In order to grasp a strong understanding in the topics you said we should understand, should I major in economics and business with a minor in accounting or finance? In university, you're not going to learn any of the stuff that I just told you. None. So you're going to waste your time, for sure. Look, it's how many people just like these economics professors. Why would you listen to an economics professor when it comes to making money? I don't understand. How much do they make? They make a couple grand. lecturing there. And how? I mean, they have no clue about money, obviously. Otherwise, they would be rich, right? So your education should be self-education, in my opinion. Okay, the rest is not gonna help you. Okay, yeah, college is a scam. Just so you know, trust me, I went through it. But I went through biology. God damn it, biology. Right? That's that's definitely not something you can make a lot of money with. I mean, you can, but I mean, definitely not what they teach you there. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up now. Hope we got something out of it, and peace. Bye.